Bye, Phoebe. Bye. Bye. Bye bye. Hey, I'm Lisa. I'm a speaker, author, and coach, and mom to 7 gorgeous kids. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you some tips on how to fly while pregnant. So over the last few months, I've been traveling fairly extensively, doing a little bit of promotion for my book, The Possibility Mom, as well as relocating my family halfway across the North American continent from Toronto, Canada to Southwest Florida. And so I have definitely learned a thing or two about traveling while pregnant. And I just think it's so helpful because traveling while pregnant can be kind of a scary thing, especially if you've never done it before. Okay, so at time of filming, I am about 26 weeks pregnant. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst at keeping track. When you've been pregnant as many times as I have, you don't really keep track anymore. But definitely when I flew for the first time while pregnant, I had all kinds of concerns. I was wondering, is it safe? Am I gonna get sick? Is it like a silly idea? You know, what's gonna happen if something happens to me? And I have thankfully had lots and lots and lots of success. So one of the biggest things that I think is super helpful while flying while pregnant is to dress comfortably. So I really like stuff like this. This is like a big onesie from Time Maternity. You really want something that's just easy to go to the bathroom in. You want something that is easy. If you're too hot or too cold, you have options. And so I really like this kind of a thing that's like knit. I love that it doesn't have a waistband. It is so comfortable and it's like really stretchy. Flats always. I personally like big blazers because you can stick, you know, all the things in the pockets. And I also find that dressing in layers is really helpful when you are pregnant because, I don't know, I'm always either too hot or too cold anywhere I go. And especially on airplanes, I just find sometimes like the air is like stale or I don't know what, but sometimes it is so hot and it's no fun to be overheated and pregnant. And so layers, so I can take my blazer off on the airplane. I also carry a wrap, like a really nice, comfy, cozy wrap. That can be like a blanket or a pillow when needed. Okay, just got off my first flight to my destination, and it is so important to move, oh my word, when you are pregnant. I mean, anytime, but especially when you're pregnant because circulation can be a challenging thing. A lot of blood is trying to, you know, go to where the baby is and stuff, so you've got to use the opportunities you've got, especially between connections, to move as much as you can. The other thing I've learned that is so important through personal experience is in connections, you have got to find out where your gate is. Like, don't sit down, don't like, you know, get a bite to eat. Like, find how far away your connection is. Some airlines will text you when you land, letting you know literally where your next gate is, and then of course you can just look at the map. And a lot of airlines will tell you, or a lot of airports will have an estimation of how long it's going to get there. I one time found myself in Chicago O'Hare thinking I had all this time, and I was just like shopping and eating and being leisurely, and then realized that it was going to take me like a full I had to take like a shuttle to get to my gate. So always find out where your gate is, especially when you're connecting, so that you're not huffing and puffing as a pregnant mama, and you can just feel peaceful and not work your way, you know, into a hot mess sweat. Okay, let's talk about food. I find it super duper helpful to always have a high protein snack and a bottle of water in my purse at all times. I just find sometimes access to food that is low in carbohydrates, especially if you are trying to be careful of a gestational diabetic diet, sometimes the options aren't always available. So I just find it helpful to have something on hand so I'm kind of covered and I'm safe. Now, the options available on an airplane are often pretty decent. Like, you can usually get a salad, you can usually get some cheeses, and that's really helpful. But one thing I have found is that depending on where you sit on an airplane and how
busy it is, sometimes these options can run out. So I definitely recommend, if you can swing it and you have time, to prioritize eating. Like, get there early enough to eat a really nice, decent meal so that you don't have to worry about it so much while you're in the air.
So the other thing I find really helpful is to actually bring a bag that rolls. So whether that is a small suitcase that rolls or your personal purse has wheels. I have made the mistake too many times where I've carried a really heavy handbag and you're just so tired when you're pregnant. So wheels are a must. So if a flight is going to be longer than 2.5 or 3 hours, I actually prefer to sit on the aisle because it allows me to go to the bathroom and, get up as I need to. But if a flight is going to be, an hour or less, I actually like to be right by the window because I know that I will already have gone to the bathroom, and then it just allows me to go to sleep. Another thing I find that is just so essential is to go to the bathroom whenever you can, like between every transition. So if you've got connecting flights, always go during connecting, before you board your flight, maybe after your flight. Like, you just never know when there might be, a problem with the airplane or some other kind of delay where you might be stuck in a line, and it's just no fun to be holding your bladder while you're pregnant. So just go to the bathroom at every transition. It's also critically important that you hydrate. Just drink all the water. You think you drank enough water, and I know you might be thinking that's gonna just make me pee, but you gotta drink all the water because you can get so dehydrated, especially when you're pregnant.
Doing anything for the very first time can, of course, be scary, but what I think is on the other side of fear, especially where travel is concerned, is so much potential. So do talk to your doctor and don't be afraid to pursue possibility.
That is it. Those are my tips for flying while pregnant. If you are interested in more travel videos, both for yourself and for your family, I've made a playlist for you, and I will see you on the other side.